Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Let's get it started. DAZN, Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. Not the best fight on the planet, but we were looking forward to it. We didn't expect it. I didn't, I picked Ortiz by KO or by TKO by stoppage late. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. Vergil Ortiz knocked out Erickson Lubin in the second round. At the end of the first round, Ortiz had Lubin on the ropes. He was taking shots. Actually, I thought Lubin actually started pretty strong, but about maybe 45 seconds left in the round, Ortiz just completely turned it. And then had Lubin on the ropes. He was taking shots, and then he ended up finishing the job in the second. It was a big overhand, looked like a big overhand right that caught him. And it looked like Lubin was out on his feet. He was out on his feet, right?
He was out on his feet. His legs were gone. I couldn't see his eyes, but he just stiffened up like this.
Yeah.
You knew his body his senses were detached from his body, in other words.
That ref ran around, right?
Yeah.
To the other side. He was completely out of position and all that, by the way.
Yeah.
So whatever. Listen, man, I thought it was a really good show. When are we going to fire Sergio Mora, by the way? Did you hear his comments right after the fight? He says it was a good showing but Sergio Mora exclaimed right at the time of the stoppage that Lubin's a shot fighter.
Yeah, I was taken aback by that a little bit.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Can we get somebody seriously? Can we hire somebody competent over there at DAZN?
Yeah, that was
for real. That was so disrespectful.
That was a bit strong, yeah.
He got hit with a big shot. It was a pretty big shot. If you look at the replay, it was a big shot that he didn't see, and he got knocked out. He got knocked out on the ropes. Is he a shot fighter? I don't know that he's a shot fighter, but you telling me he's a shot fighter does nothing, does two things. Tells me that Ortiz took a cupcake to get here because they knew he was a shot fighter, and it just completely undermines all the credit he deserves for that fight. Completely undermines it. He's the house fighter, by the way.
Yeah. When you take the top 3 or 4 guys, top 3, top 4 even in a division, that's a big separation from when you go to the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, or even down to 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. So I would put Lubin probably he's still a legitimate top 10, maybe top 12. That still means you're a good fighter, but there is a separation from the top 3 or 4 when you go down to the bottom end of the rankings, and that showed last night. Obviously, now was I surprised that it was so quick that it ended that way? Yes, I was. But full credit to Ortiz. Ortiz can do that to anybody. He can punch like a mule, and he just knows how to put on pressure. He's very fluid with his combinations. He knows how to go to the body very well. And if you notice, Lubin had his hands up high. He had a tight guard, but Ortiz is just really crafty the way he can loop those short looping shots around the guard. Those little puts just enough of a little bit of a torque to that punch, a little bit of a loop, not really wide like Ricky Hatton. But he just pulls it back just enough to loop it around. And he lands perfectly, picture perfect. That was a picture perfect punch. Just looped it around. And it was like a guided missile. And, not many guys could throw that punch like that and throw it that cleanly and have it be that hard. So, again, it's just one of those things, right? What are you going to do?
Yeah. He's good. The bottom line is he's good. And
here's the thing: I would pick Boots to win, but the way people are talking about it, just like the way people were talking about, you remember Canelo Crawford? Anyone that picked Canelo, they were like, oh, it's no way Crawford can win this fight. They were painting it as Yeah, they were painting it as if it was like an 80-20 fight.
Right.
And I'm hearing the same exact things about this potential fight where they're given, like, I think it's like a 60-40, 55-45 fight in Boots' favor, in my opinion.
Boots,
But people,
for sure.
other people are like, oh, Vergil's going to get destroyed. There's no way he can win. He's going to get schooled. I just don't think that there's certain guys at 154. Madrimov, he's another one. Boots is another one. There's just certain guys I just don't think that I can't see getting blown out, right? I just can't see the certain guys getting blown out.
Ortiz is a tough out for anybody.
He's a tough out for anybody.
I mean, come on. Let's be realistic here for a minute.
Yeah.
That's a 50-50, like I said, 60-40, 55-45 fight. It really is.
And people are talking about
Boots,
like it's 80-20.
We've been saying this all the time. We think Boots is going to win.
Yeah, we think Boots.
We always talked about this.
We always said
these
that.
guys ever fought, Boots will win this fight. I think Boots is the next guy.
Yeah.
I mean, until I'm proven wrong, hey, why not? You know?
And the shitty thing about it is, if you listen to the post-fight press conference, it wasn't too encouraging when you listen to Oscar De La Hoya up at that podium talking about, oh, well, everything's got to be Vergil's way. Vergil is the name. He calls the shots.
He's got all the cards. That's what he kept saying. All the nonsense.
Already putting up barriers, and then Vergil's manager, that Rick Marigian, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
he's sitting there tweeting out, "Oh well, Vergil versus Errol Spence would be a great fight. They could fill up a stadium in Texas. Wow, So they were already. It seems like they were already kind of painting the picture, setting the stage for this fight to not happen next.
This is why I like Turkey. This is why I'm all in favor of the new TKO system. I'm 100% on board with it. You want to know why? This is why.
Hey, I'm just willing to give it a shot. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
That's all I'm saying.
All in, because I'm so tired of this nonsense. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
And it's all a bunch of cat and mouse games about who gets what percentage and everything like that. Listen, go over there. If you want to fight, the fight's going to happen. Yeah. And you're all going to get paid and everybody's going to be happy. So nobody cares.
Yeah. These guys, they price themselves out, and again, I have nothing against fighters getting the most money they can get. But once you start inflating purses, when guys are just fighting, regular fights, when it's not a super fight, when you have a guy fighting a 10-1 underdog and you're paying him millions to do that, what do you have to pay him to fight someone that's dangerous? So these guys for years have been incentivized to not have to fight, dangerous opponents.
Yeah.
And this is what you have. So, people talk about fighter pay this, fighter pay that. I get it. But when you inflate purses, when you give the fighter too much leverage, this is what you get. And these promoters have essentially become managers, because back in the day, a promoter would try to worry about getting specific fights. It was their job to put on events, right? Yeah. And that's what they wanted to do. Like they may have a guy for 2 fights, 3 fights. If you fought for the title, okay, the promoter was promoting that fight, he'd have an option on your next fight. But you got guys, 6, 8 guys fighting for promoters. Like Terrence Crawford was with Top Rank for 11 years.
And so didn't go anywhere. You didn't even know his name until recently.
At that point, when you got guys like De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, 15, 11, 12 years, these guys are essentially managers now. Because now if they're going to hold on to this guy for a long time, right, what are they going to do? They're going to try and preserve him because they know they have him for the long haul, right? Back in the day, it didn't matter. When Ali fought Foreman and Don King promoted that fight, obviously Ali was the name in that fight. They didn't have A-sides then, but he was the attraction, right? And Don King was telling everyone he didn't think that Muhammad Ali was going to win. So he knew Ali was the attraction, but he didn't care because he was focused on the event. And then he said, and then the mentality back then was, okay, if the big name money guy loses, then we move on to the guy who beat him, right? And we make him a star. And that's how it was. But now it's just everyone's protecting their fighters because they have them for so long. So fuck this Ali act, because essentially all these promoters, when you hear a promoter say, "Oh, we tried to match him against specific styles and we avoided other styles," that's not a promoter. That's what a manager does.
Yep.
That's what a manager says. So this is why we are. This is why we are where we are today, because of how this system has just gone haywire. And people want to defend it, but all it does is hurt us.
How can you defend this?
You can't defend this because
really, how do you defend this?
And I said this earlier in the week when I was talking to someone else on here. When you hear people say, "Well, what would you do if you were Tank?" Right? And I said, well, first of all, I'm never going to be Tank. That's number one. Right? So I can't even envision myself being Tank. I'm never going to be that guy. Number two, what would Tank do if he was me as a consumer having to buy fights that he wasn't interested in? So I could just flip that back at you. Well, what would Tank do if he was me as a consumer? Right? Where's the empathy for me? Where's the act, the price gouging fan act?
Yeah.
Why don't they pass?
Where's that at?
Where's that? Why don't they pass that through Congress?
Yeah, wait till I tell you about the new DAZN deal. I'll tell you about the new DAZN deal later. That's insane.
We'll get back to that later. That's going to be
unbelievable
mouthful in itself.
But yeah, right. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. It's do you think so? Let's brass tacks. I think the fight comes off next. I think they're talking.
Right.
I think they're just talking. They built this whole thing around this fight coming next.
I hope so.
He was there. He got in the ring, everything like that. And then as soon as it was over, everybody's talking different. I still do think it'll happen. B, what say you?
I'm cautiously optimistic, but something's telling me it's not going to happen. I just don't. I don't like what De La Hoya said after the fight. I kind of didn't like Boots' body language. I'm not going to say Boots doesn't want it, but if this is just an opinion. Oh, how do you know, B? No, this is just an opinion. I think Vergil Ortiz will take the fight if he's getting paid reasonable money. Yeah. Something tells me Boots is going to he's going to complain about the money and he's going to want more than what's offered. I think Vergil will take what's offered. Boots is going to want more.
Boots said what did somebody say they wanted 10 million or something crazy?
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't, and I don't know. I
don't know, but and again, this is nothing against Boots. I think he's a tremendous fighter, but he just has this. I don't know, like.
Well, somebody in the chat had a point. They said, look, at 154, let's face it, Boots has done nothing.
No, he hasn't done. But see,
he hasn't done anything.
The thing is, this even at welterweight, he fought one guy that I thought was a tough fight, which was Stanionis.
He has nobody on his resume.
But he has a mentality. Like, again, these guys have a mentality that they're at they should get something without. I hate to say this because who am I to say this? But it's like they want to get something when it may not be warranted that they get something. In other words, it seems as though he's overvaluing himself because Maestro went to that event with Lima. He said 6,000 people were there. They had to close off a lot of everything.
The upper bowl was closed off.
Again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but these guys aren't what they think they are. Crawford always was that guy. He always was.
He could sell out his hometown. Boots can't do that.
He always was that.
And Philadelphia is a fight town.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Philadelphia is a fight town, right? And when you can't sell out a fight town and you're the home guy, something wrong.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate doing this and I hate saying it. I'm about 60% that it's not gonna happen. And I think there's a 40% chance it does.
Oh, come on.
I hate
on.
I just have that feeling about this fight, Eric. I really do. I just have that. This fight has a Spence Crawford vibe to me.
We come here every week, Beeb.
We do.
And we get our hopes up and you dash them every single week. When we talk about big fights.
I'm not gonna lie.
And you throw negative. Why don't you lie? Why don't you?
I've been very negative lately, man.
I don't get it. I'll tell you that right now. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Well, let's say this. I choose to be positive.
As I've gotten older, though, I just become more in tune with myself, and I have to be honest.
Live by this motto: a frown is just a smile turned upside down. There you go. Yeah. You live by that now.
There's only a few people that I have to tell little white lies to. And
little white lies.
I don't want to reveal, those people, but they know who they are. Well, they don't know who they are, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Keep it that way, yeah. Keep it that way.
Right.
Much more comfortable criticizing people that way. Yeah. Oh my gosh! All right, so that was it for Erickson Lubin and Vergil Ortiz. I tell you, the undercard was not great. Not great.
Yeah, I found myself, again, I hate saying this, I was dozing off during the undercard. I just wasn't.
That co-main, Jesus.
Yeah.
Darius Fulghum versus David Stevens. The fight ended a draw. I didn't even get the scores. I wanted that fight to be over so bad.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fight.
It wasn't even worth mentioning, man. Lots of holding. Like, who decided to put this on, you know what I mean, on the co-main? I was like, all right, whatever. After that, we had Amari Jones versus Shady Gamhour. Jones looked good, man. Jones won by a third-round KO. He looked good. He looked real sharp. Yeah, he looked real sharp.
He's sharp.
He was real good. And I'm going to mention this last one, Joshua Edwards versus Zeno Vooris. Edwards won by a third-round TKO. If you guys haven't seen the fight, go back and watch the stoppage. Third round. And you know what was funny to me is that, you know how the UFC is in some hot water because of that whole betting scandal?
Yep.
That referee has been...
They're going after the baseball players now, too. I was hearing they were talking about some pitchers now. Yeah. The
whole mob, there was like a mob syndicate or something like that, and they had like basketball players. I don't know. Again, in the UFC, whether it was happening or not, I don't know. I know it's being investigated.
It would probably be easier. It would be easier to do it in the UFC than boxing because there's more ways you can win in the UFC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they got that going on. And Oscar De La Hoya came out on his little thing on Thursday, or the clapback show or whatever he does, and was just ripping the UFC apart for talking about they're faking fights. It's all, there's bets. It's staged. You don't know.
Listen,
let me tell you what. When I saw this fight, this was the Joshua Edwards Zeno Vooris fight. That's the first thing I thought of. Is that ref stopped that fight way too early? I don't even know what he was doing.
Do you think the ref was on it too?
I think the ref absolutely stopped that fight early. Go look at it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But we've said this for years. Given like the guys, like the big fighters and stuff, you can't really fix those fights in the sense that like you can't pay them enough to take a dive. It's not worth it. Financially, it's just not worth it to them because they'll get more money on the next go round.
Yeah.
But the referee, the judges, they're not getting that kind of cake. You know what I mean? They're not getting that kind of money.
Or a mid-level guy would probably be easy to sway. A mid-level guy.
Well, they said I guess the guy for $75,000, they're saying he threw the fight. This is on the UFC side. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I haven't really researched that much.
I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I've heard a lot of things, and even Dana White said it doesn't look good for the guy who's being investigated. So
yeah. And hey, he's gonna probably he's gonna see some time out of it.
I mean, again, the UFC is worth $12 billion. TKO Holdings Group is worth $40 billion. They're not sweating.
They're not going anywhere. Yeah, they're not.
They're not looking to make $75,000. Okay,
right,
or whatever it is.
Yeah, that makes zero sense to anybody.
I don't for one second think the UFC is involved or replicated in this. In my opinion, that's just my.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
What makes sense? You're publicly pressure again. Everything changes. When
publicly traded company, by the way.
Publicly traded. Everything gets reported. Everything. Everyone's under the microscope. Dana White himself is an employee basically because he sits on the board.
Well, he is an employee now.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah.
Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro outrank him. So if they go to the board and say we want him out, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's not He's not, it is what it is.
Right.
You got people to answer to now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Joshua Edwards, Zeno Vooris, like I said, man, guys, I want you to go watch that fight. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
Go watch that fight. Crazy. Go watch the third. Don't even have to watch the fight. Go watch the third round.
Usually,
and tell me that fight wasn't stopped early. And I'm usually the guy that says you didn't stop it soon enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that was there was no doubt about it. No doubt about that, but that was sketchy.
Either that was a rookie referee or there was something fishy going on. Either way, wasn't good. Either way, it wasn't a good look, man. That was not good at all.
It was not good.
You know, one guy was clearly winning the fight, but it wasn't a one-sided fight.
Yeah. It was
not good at all, man. Not good. All right, let's go to the upcoming fights here because that was it. That was the action for this week, man. So let's see what we got here coming up. I think we got one fight next week, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. That's the Eubank fight, right?
That's coming up next week, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got. Let me see if there's any more. There's a couple, but none like they don't look to be televised, put it that way. There's some fights in New Zealand, Montreal, but never there's nothing to televise except for this one in London, DAZN pay-per-view. By the way, I can't believe this fight is a pay-per-view in the United States. Because in the United States, this is not a big fight at all. Not even a little bit. Right? I thought at the first, it was a good fight. Don't get me wrong. It was a good fight. Do we need to see it again, though? I think those guys should have really, these guys should have went off on their different and, just went about their own way.
Let me ask you this.
Let me just say, it's Chris Eubank, Conor Benn. Chris Eubank, Conor Benn, November 15th in DAZN, 12 rounds, middleweights. Jack Catterall on the undercard versus Eko Usman. Welterweights, Richard Riekpour versus Tommy Welch, 10 rounds heavyweights. And there you go.
Yeah, so what if Ben loses again? That's back-to-back losses. So that's, again, I'm not saying, losses hurt somebody, but 2 losses in a row are a setback. That's number one. Number two, he looked fine at 160. Is that cut all the way back down to 147? Is that going to be a good cut? I mean, I don't know. So he's going to go from 160 after this fight all the way back down to 147.
That's a hard cut.
It's a hard cut. And then
Kell Brook was never the same after that.
No.
I mean, he fought Triple G, don't get me wrong, but
it's one thing going back down one weight class, but going back down two, and he looked fine at what was he, 157, 158. He looked fine. He looked lean. He didn't look like he was puffy or bloated at all. So I don't know. I'm curious, to know how bad of a cut that was to make 147. If he was walking around at 170-ish, that's a big cut. That's a bad cut.
That's a big cut.
That's a heavy cut.
And right? That's a big cut. But again, man, I mean, this is going to be at good 160. Same result. I like Conor Benn. I thought Conor Benn put up a good show. I thought Conor Benn had him a couple times, man. He can hit. Conor Benn can hit.
Yeah, I thought he got his attention, but
I think Conor Benn ran out of gas in that first fight.
How did you score that fight? Do you remember? Because I had it like 9-3. I thought it was a 9-3, 8-4-ish type fight. All 3 judges, I think, had it 8-4. Yeah, I thought 8-4 was fine. Everyone was saying, it was closer than that. I mean, it was competitive in spots, but I think Eubank was a clear winner in that fight. I don't think there was,
Yeah, I think so too. Let me see if I have it. I may not have it, but let me try.
Don't even worry about it. But I had it 9-3.
I had it 115, 113.
You had it close.
For Ben. I had Ben winning the fight.
Oh, you had Ben winning the fight. Yeah, see, I didn't have Ben winning. I thought you won the fight.
Ben won the fight, according to me. So there you go. And that'll be it for next week. Jack Catterall on the undercard, and Richard Riekpour is also on the undercard as well. So not a lot of action next week. Other than that, the pay-per-view. And my guess is that's going to be around 5.
Probably
Probably
latest
start around 2
6.
or so.
The card will start at 2. Maybe the main event will go off at 6.
The main event's going to go off at 9. That I tell you what, man, those London cards, anything that Matchroom is involved in, it seems to take forever. I don't know why.
They're worse. They're
sucks.
worse. Yeah. Overall, boxing drags, but they're the worst. Yeah. They're the worst culprits of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Without question.
I agree. Now, the following week is going to be in Saudi Arabia, DAZN pay-per-view, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yard for Benavidez' WBC light heavyweight title, excuse me. Bam Rodriguez on there, Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, Brian Norman, Devin Haney. That's the fight right there. Arthur Beterbiev versus Dion Nicholson. Yeah.
That's the best fight.
I think so too. Who do you like in there? Benavidez?
I like Benavidez, yeah.
I do too. I don't think Yard is going to offer him much.
I like Brian Norman too, by knockout, actually.
Wow.
You like Haney in that fight, right?
I like Haney in the fight.
Okay.
But I'm starting to like Brian Norman.
Okay.
That's interesting, man. That's real interesting. So Brian Norman, listen, he's a live dog. I know Haney's the favorite there, but Brian Norman is a live dog there. He really is. He's nothing to sleep on, that's for sure. All right. So let's go ahead and let's move on to the news here. To no surprise of anybody, Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis is canceled. Beeb, they tried to get some replacements here, but those fell through. Francis Ngannou was one of the replacements. He said it was disrespectful.
He should have taken the fight.
I don't know. What is he doing?
I don't get
what is he doing now?
What does he have?
What have you got to do?
Yeah, what are you doing right now? You have nothing going on right now.
They want to move the fight to December, you know?
I heard they were going to give him, I think they were offering him like 15 or 20 million for the fight, according to Chris Mannix.
Yeah.
I'm sure then he was like, oh, they offered me a good amount of money, but it wasn't about the money. I mean,
you know what? I got to believe. I tell you what, though, I do believe Francis Ngannou.
Oh, I believe him.
But they offered him a ton of money at the UFC to stay, but he wanted something with insurance or fighters insurance or something. But money doesn't move that guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but money should have moved him in this instance because this was a very winnable fight for him.
Yeah. But listen, Jake Paul is out of the two. He's the one that's been boxing.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 fight.
I think it is a 50-50 fight.
50-50 fight. So,
neither one of them. I mean, like I said, one has been practicing boxing. The other one, I don't know what he's been doing.
Who am I to say what to do? I mean, the guy's already a millionaire. What the fuck?
Yeah,
what does he care what Joe Beep thinks?
I'll buy another Rolls, I mean, I don't know.
He's already a millionaire.
Ryan Garcia was mentioned, but he wasn't allowed. Oscar De La Hoya said no. And they were toying with a Nate Diaz rematch, but they ended up just canceling the fight, which, honestly, the fight was never good. Him and Tank Davis generated almost zero interest. Everybody was complaining about the fight. The fact that you couldn't get it sanctioned anywhere tells you everything you need to know. I don't know, man. It's just, it was a bad look. It was a bad move. And especially after what happened. And like I said, man, I know they knew about this beforehand. At least Davis's team knew about this. This was not a surprise to Davis. This was not a surprise. Any money, because you did it, and they're suing.
Davis, to me, did everything he could, in my opinion, by his actions during this whole promotion and build-up, and his demeanor and the way he was carrying himself. He was basically sabotaging the event anyways. And then people say, oh, well, these things always happen. These cases always pop up around his fights. Yeah, probably because that's when he's the most irritable. That's when he's the most, his head's not in the right place.
Well, no, because this happened months before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This happened beforehand.
I think there was 2 incidences, if I'm not mistaken. There was one.
I believe there was too.
One in July and one in October. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is. There's like a lot of things. He's got a rap sheet.
Yeah.
Just like Mayweather during the build up to that Cotto fight, this guy actually got convicted and was sentenced, and they still went through with the fight. You know why? Because there was money behind it. So listening to Ariel Helwani and Lou DiBella discuss this topic, and Lou was giving him a little bit of pushback, but he wasn't articulated himself enough, and I'm surprised he didn't. Ariel Helwani's like, oh, well, Lou, everyone's talking about the tickets. He goes, the tickets don't mean anything. He goes, it's all about the rights fee. Okay, but you got to understand a couple things here. First of all, if the tickets aren't moving, that's an indicator of how poorly the fight's doing in terms of attention and basically interest, right?
Yeah.
If there's no buzz behind it, then I'm sure they looked at metrics and stuff when they were putting out videos and promotion and stuff like that, and they're just seeing there's not a lot of interaction here, not a lot of people liking these videos, not a lot of views for these videos. So that was an indicator. That's number one. Number two, Netflix wants eyeballs. So name a time when the live gate tanked and viewership was up or pay-per-view was up. So for Ariel to say, oh, well, they already got their rights fee money. Yeah, but Netflix wants return on investment. Jake Paul wants return on investment because Jake Paul's getting the rights fee because he's the promoter. He's got to pay himself. He's got to pay Tank Davis. He's got to pay the commission fees. He's got to pay operation costs. So he's and that live gate helps shoulder some of those costs for him, right? So the worse that the live gate is, that's the more that cuts into his purse and the money he wants to pay the rest of the card and the commission fees and the operation costs and all that stuff. So again, it's not. I understand the rights fee is the money maker, but when Netflix is worried about eyeballs, number one, who knows what the advertisers would have done if they would have pulled back after this incident, right? Or the sponsors would have pulled back after this incident because they know they were looking at the metrics. They were seeing the writing on the wall, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it was a way for them to just cut their losses and get the fuck out of it. Because if this fight was moving and there was a lot of buzz behind it, in my opinion, they would have went through with it because we saw it with Mayweather. Right, we saw it with other instances. Look at the shit Tyson used to do, right? And they still would have fights.
They still went through it.
So boxing,
this was not a moral decision.
Yeah, boxing is not this, gigantic, upstanding code of ethics, and they don't, not an exemplary moral compass. Boxing is, right. These are not. The most ethically sound and ethically morally righteous people in the world. Okay, we've seen worse happen and fights still go through. So if this fight, in my opinion, was projected to significantly underachieve what they wanted it to and what they expected it to, and they were disappointed in it. And here's the thing too. If Netflix goes through with this and it tanks, and then they try to do it again, who's gonna put advertising money behind it, right? Who's gonna put sponsorship money behind it, right? How do they get? They want to get a little bit of return on investment too. They want to get the views, they want to get the ads, they want to get the sponsors. So again, this was a lose-lose for everybody, and I don't even think Tank really wanted to go through with the fight. He just didn't seem like he wanted to do it.
Tank never does. All his promotion is zero. He shows up on fight night, and that's what they come to see is the knockouts. But his personality is, to sell a fight, that's not the guy you want.
So to sit there and say that the live gate meant nothing, no, it's a very good barometer. It's a very good indicator of how well the viewership is going to be.
Yeah.
Right. It's a very strong indicator of that.
That's it.
Show me one event that did a horrible live gate, right? And made up for it in viewership or pay-per-view buys.
Right.
I can't name one.
Shout out to Big Texan. Beeb, you look great today. He's sending hugs. That's so nice. So nice. Boxing has a question. He said, will you guys get mad at Devin Haney if he pulls out of the fight because Brian Norman doesn't make weight? Have you heard that Brian Norman is overweight?
No, I haven't.
I haven't heard anything about this.
I expect Brian Norman to make weight, so I don't even want to think
He's made weight all the other times. I don't see why this would be any different. So
I don't even want to think about that.
No, yeah. And, it depends on, as far as the weight goes, depends on what he would come in at. If he comes in 7 pounds overweight, yeah, I'd be a little irritated. All right. I mean, I'm irritated when everybody comes in over the contract, you know what I mean? But yeah, no. It's one of those things you have to see. I'd say kind of play it by, but I haven't heard anything about Brian Norman having trouble with weight or anything like that. So I don't know.
I think it'll be fine.
So this is great. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson is a done deal. According to Chris Mannix, the fight is all but done. Beeb, do you like this fight? This is awesome, right?
I love the fight, yeah.
I was shocked that Teofimo didn't want to fight Devin Haney. He pulled out of the Devin Haney fight. They had it. It was agreed to. He pulled out. And now he's going to fight Shakur Stevenson, which to me is like, dude, that's a way harder fight until,
Much harder fight.
Yeah.
Much harder fight.
Yeah, much harder fight than that. So, I don't know, man. Teofimo, do you like Teofimo or Shakur in that one?
I like Shakur big in that fight.
I do too.
Big.
Wow.
I know I know on paper, again, I'm being a hypocrite because on paper that's about a 60-40 fight too. I just think Shakur's style, people give Shakur a lot of shit, and I've been guilty of it before in the past.
Yeah.
But he's very well rounded. Like he can mix it up. He can mix it up a little bit on the inside. Even against Zepeda, he made a lot of adjustments. There was a little bit of discomfort early in that fight.
Yeah.
And he made the adjustment. He started shortening up shots, going to the body on the inside. He started turning them on. He started spinning off the ropes a little bit. He made adjustments in that fight.
Yeah.
Whereas Teofimo Lopez, he's a counterpuncher by nature. And I don't think he has as many tools in the toolbox as Shakur does. I mean, I hate to say this, but Teofimo's a bit one-dimensional. Now, that's a great dimension he has. We say that a lot of times. Sometimes guys can be one-dimensional, but that dimension can be great and enough to have him win most fights. But he does not, like when he fought Jermaine Ortiz, that's another guy who's kind of a stick and move counterpuncher type guy. When he's fighting those types of styles, he doesn't look great. Who's the Spanish guy that he fought? I always forget the Spanish guy's name he fought where it was a really close fight. Sander Martin. That was another fight. When you have guys that like to stay on the outside, they don't step to you. They kind of just circle and stick and pick and prod from the outside, pick and poke from the outside. Those types of guys. He needs an aggressive come forward guy in order for him to look good. Now Lomachenko is an in and out ambush fighter, so he came to him. That was a perfect style for him, right? But these guys are just going to stay on the outside, pick and prod a little bit on the outside. They have a little bit of counterpunch to their game too. Those are the types of styles that give him problems. Now Shakur can fight long stretches of the fight that way, right? And then decide every now and then to step in and get in his chest a little bit. Because Teo is a mid-range guy. He's not a great outside fighter, and he's not a great inside fighter. He's a mid-range counterpuncher, right? He likes to catch you on the way in, but he likes to catch you like right in that mid-range. And if you can time him and don't get caught on the way coming in, you catch or you kind of slip or you get low and you can evade the counterpunch and you get in his chest, he's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Did Edward Torres brings up a good point. It was a point I was thinking about too, is that Teo always shows up. It's like he fights to the level of his opposition.
Yeah, he does.
When you see him in fights that really don't mean much, it's like that. But the Lomachenko fight, great example, rose to the level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems on the big fights.
Yeah.
He seems to come up big in the big fights.
Yeah.
So I like Shakur in the fight.
Yeah.
But I think Teo is a live dog in there, man.
Yeah,
it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if he won the fight. It would.
I'd be a little bit surprised, but it wouldn't be like a gigantic upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's an upset, but
it's not a shocker. In other words, it wouldn't be a shocker.
We're not talking Buster Douglas here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a shocker. I'd be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked by it.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Xander Zayas and Abass Baraou agree on a unification fight. Do you like that fight, Beeb?
Love it. This guy's doing everything right. He's doing everything right. He wanted to fight Fondora. He wanted to fight Vergil Ortiz. These guys told him no. And you know what? I believe him that he wanted to fight those guys.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is now. I may not have picked him in those fights. I probably would have picked him against Fondora. Maybe Fondora. I'm not sure. I think I would edge Fondora a little bit. I think I would favor Vergil, but at least this guy, really, I believe
he wants to fight
because he's fighting another. Think about this, Eric. Even if Boots and Vergil fight, it's a fucking interim title unification.
Yeah.
It's not even for the real belts.
Not even.
Right? And this guy is actually fighting for real titles.
Yep. That's
right?
it.
Zayas, excuse me.
Yeah.
He's fighting for real titles. He's preparing to unify real titles. My hat goes off to the kid.
There it is.
Really
all right, let's go to the phones here. Let's bring on Robert here. Maybe. Let's see. Robert, you're live.
Hello, guys. How are you?
How you doing?
Good.
Hello, guys. How are you?
What's up, Bobby?
First of all, I'm glad that Xander Zayas is going to have a fight, but where's Top Rank going to put it? They have no TV deal.
Facebook Live.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I heard it's going to be on TikTok.
It's going to be on TikTok.
You got to think about that too. But in regards to last night's fights, I never dreamed that Ortiz would do that in two rounds.
Yeah,
I thought Ortiz would win, but in 2 rounds, I know. Erickson Lubin, and you're absolutely right about Sergio Mora. He said 2 things last night that should get him fired. He not only said that Lubin was a washed-up
we didn't say he
fighter,
should get fired. We didn't say he
also-
should get fired. He could have gotten like a little talking to, or maybe pulled into
Right.
HR. Could have got a verbal warning or something like that. Again,
But
like
he-
you should have a little bit of compassion.
but he also
you had some
said,
trouble
Joe,
in the workforce. In your life,
God.
so you should have a little bit of empathy. Now, I went to the
no,
board,
I don't have
board
no
and
empathy.
fought for you.
But he
I
also-
went to the
he
board and
also
fought for you,
said-
but
Oh, Jesus Christ. He also said that he compares Boots Ortiz to Hagler and Hearns. What planet is he on? It's going to be a good fight, but he thinks it's only going to go 3 rounds? Really? I mean, look, they both have knockout power, but we don't know what kind of fight it's going to be until they actually step in the damn ring.
Well-
You can't be making statements like that. It's, that's just ridiculous.
I think he just
mean,
I don't think he meant it was going to go 3 rounds. I think he just meant that it was going to be a blazing fight. Like, you know what I mean? And I hate Sergio
certainly
Mora.
hope
I don't
that-
like to, defend him, but
Bobby, I mean, you're being a little hard on Sergio Mora. Now, we constructively criticize the guy, but you are criticizing him a little bit unjustifiably so right now.
Oh, okay. And then, another guy I'm going to criticize. The reason why the David Stevens Darius Fulghum fight was so terrible was Lawrence Cole. Every time they
he was bad.
tried to fight,
He was bad.
every time they tried to fight, he would step in every single time. I want to see those 2 fight again without him in the ring.
I don't ever want to see those 2 fight again.
I mean, come on.
Lawrence Cole.
I don't ever want to see those 2 fight again.
Lawrence Cole is an awful referee.
All right,
Really
Robert,
bad referee.
you
He's
saw
terrible.
Really bad referee.
you saw the Edwards Vooris fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh God. The referee stopped it way too early. Way too early.
Did that look suspicious to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Absolutely.
He always seems to give the benefit of the doubt to the A-side fighter or the hometown fighter, that guy Lawrence Cole.
But no, Lawrence Cole is the worst referee in boxing. He kept interfering with everything those two guys tried to do.
It was awful.
Now, it
you know what they should do in Texas? And I know Texas has a commission, okay? But they should bring, for big fights, if I'm a promoter, I'm getting all the Texas people out of there, and I'm bringing in my own people. Whether it's from California, from Las Vegas, I'm bringing in people because the Texas commission and the Texas refs suck.
They're not good.
No.
They're not good. That's not a great commission down there.
No, it's terrible. And yet they get a lot of big fights down there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But, and no, I've seen those two guys fight before, and they're better fighters than what they showed last night. And I blame that all on him. He kept interfering with everything they tried to do.
Yeah, he was awful.
I mean, it was terrible.
Complete disgrace.
As far as Ortiz and Boots, I do think it will happen next. But if it doesn't, I'm going to blame Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya. I'm not going to blame the fighters. I'm going to blame the two promoters.
Listen, the whole table's set for this. This is kind of what this was billed for. It was what it was billed toward. You got Boots in the audience.
Right.
He came they invited him into the ring. Security could have kept him out. They invited him in the ring. He comes in, they jaw at each other. That's the next fight. Listen, and now you're talking about that may not be the next fight. That was the whole build up to this fight. That was, honestly, that was the entire build up to this fight.
Like I said, Eric, if it doesn't happen, I'm going to blame Eddie Hearn. I'm going to blame Oscar De La Hoya because I firmly believe that both fighters themselves, they want to fight. I'm going to blame the promoters if it does not happen.
Yeah. I mean, who else are you going to blame? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And as far as Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that is a mismatch. I think Shakur is going to run all over him and do what he normally does. And whenever Lopez fights anybody that does what Shakur does, he doesn't know how to handle it. Lopez is going to lose that fight.
Yeah. Again, man, I thought he was going to lose that. Who's it? Josh
Taylor. Yeah, we picked
Josh Taylor.
We both picked Josh Taylor.
All picked Josh Taylor. Nobody was found picking T.O., man. I'm telling you, T.O. shows up big. There was no way he was going to beat Josh Taylor. Not like that.
But Eric,
no way.
But Eric, he's never been able to handle anybody that can move. Anytime anybody shows any kind of movement, Teofimo does not know what to do.
Sandor, like I said,
comes up with big fights. He comes up in big fights. He just does. He fights to the level of his competition.
I kind of agree with Robbie a little bit here because of Sandor Martin and
was Sandor Martin a big fight?
Yeah.
Sandor Martin wasn't a big fight.
And what about Nakatila? Remember Jeremiah Nakatila?
Lomachenko couldn't move
his style either.
Stop.
Jermaine Ortiz. I thought Jermaine Ortiz beat.
By the way, none of these guys, big names.
They're not big names, no.
Josh Taylor.
I guess you're right too, but I'm looking at the style though. I think I understand what you're saying too. There's a little bit of that, but he doesn't like chasing guys. He doesn't like movers because he's a counter puncher. He doesn't like having to come forward. He likes fighting off the back.
No, he does not.
Hey, Beeb, why don't you answer this comment right here? Because I picked Lomachenko.
I picked Tio. Me, D-Style.
All week long, he was riding with Tio in that fight. And, I mean, for anybody that would listen, the week after, anybody that was listening, he told you, he was still telling you he picked Tio in that fight.
Yeah, I picked Tio.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Beeb was the only one.
Because I saw the style, and I love Lomachenko, but he has short arms, right? He has to come forward to land. He is an ambush in and out fighter. He was always going to come to Lopez. And Lopez just kept catching him with the jab.
This is the best comment. Tio is the inverse of Mario Barrios.
Yeah, I think
that's perfect. That is.
I do think that Shakur's style is gonna be problematic for him. I agree with Robbie.
Yeah, he's perfect, but that is.
I totally agree, and I'm going to agree with Beeb here also because I think Brian Norman is going to beat Devin Haney rather convincingly. I don't know what's wrong with Haney, but he's not the fighter he used to be.
Oh,
And I think Norman's going to take full advantage of that.
Eric's guy, Robbie. Don't say that. That's Eric's guy. He loves Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, son.
I know.
Devin Haney, the dream Haney. The dream, baby. Come on, Robert.
Well, I can dream about my Raiders doing better, but they're not going to do that.
I can dream about the Bengals doing better. I tell you what. I got to ride with Devin Haney now. Bengals.
At least we have 7 titles over here.
But let me tell you right now. FCC, baby. FCC.
He's just giving up.
Moving on in the playoffs.
He's just giving up on the football.
I've got a different kind of football now. All right. This is a different kind of football up here. MAW, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Salute Eric Beebs in the chat. Congratulations, Vergil Ortiz. Slept Lubin standing. Those vicious Loma-style peel and hooks were devastating. They were. Boots and Vergil next would be fire, but we'll see. I'm hoping.
Everybody's cautiously optimistic here.
I'm hoping.
Everyone has their doubts.
That's right. Robbie, I want you to stay here for this next story here, right here. DAZN.
Okay.
Beeb, you said this to me, and we looked it up and everything. We did some research on this. DAZN has a new package called the Ultimate Tier. This package costs a low $45 a month. What are you guys paying? $25 a month for it? Now, we got a better tier. It's called Ultimate. You could pay $45 for this. $45. This includes all the pay-per-views. By the way, guys, that's $540 a year. It's still highway robbery in my
They said, though, if you pay for a year, you can get the package for $450. But why are you going to pay for a year? Because you don't know what fight you're going to get. They can call a fight a pay-per-view.
They're calling the Ben fight a pay-per-view. That ain't a pay-per-view fight.
So what they consider a pay-per-view fight is not really a normal run-of-the-mill pay-per-view fight that most people would categorize it as.
TKO can't get here fast enough. Cannot get here fast enough.
These guys are just shooting themselves in the
$45. $45. And they think this is a great deal. Oh, this is beautiful. People are going to love this. Yeah. We got the entire government. I heard it's going to come back this week, though. Government shutdown.
I doubt it.
No, I heard that's what I'm hearing.
They'll be back by the end of the week.
Yeah, I heard the Dems caved. So government's going to be back on this week.
Yeah, they're going to be back by the end of the week.
I think they're voting on it tomorrow or something like that. Last I heard.
They've been trying to vote. They've been talking. They've been talking. They've been working all weekend on it. They're gonna get something done.
They were working all weekend on what? Nothing changed. All they're gonna do is come back and vote on it. There was nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing's gonna really change that.
Well, whatever. Listen, that's that's another topic for another day. Hey, listen. Speaking of DAZN, right? And we were talking about Brian Norman earlier. Did you see the Brian Norman segment on DAZN? I don't know if those two idiots on Akim Barak kids, if they were on here doing this. I don't know who it was. But you know how DAZN's got that habit of dressing, like bringing a guy to a place and having other guys dress him up like they're playing Barbie with him and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think that? You don't watch those, Robert? You don't think DAZN's doing that?
Crap.
Yeah, DAZN's doing that.
He doesn't watch.
I'm sure they're doing all kinds of stuff, but I don't watch that crap.
He doesn't watch Akim Barak and all those shows.
I don't watch them either. Listen, I don't watch them either. And I usually don't even pay attention to the pre-fight shows anymore because most of them suck.
Nope.
Right. You know, so they got this dude up here and they're like, they bring this guy in, right? They bring Brian Norman in and he's talking to these dudes and they're doing this photo shoot with him. And he says, we got this segment where we want you to judge what Devin Haney wears. And they showed him like 3 outfits that Devin Haney had. He was like, we want you to comment on each one of the outfits. Brian Norman looked at the camera. He said, is it rolling? He said, yeah. He says, I don't care about any of the outfits. He said, I'm not here for that. I'm a boxer. I'm a fighter. I'm here to talk with my fist.
Good for him.
I'm not worried about
Good
this.
for him.
I don't care what he wears. He said, look at me. He said, I've got sweatpants on. I've got a T-shirt on. I'm not worried about what he's wearing. Good for him. Finally. Over there dressing up Canelo, putting him in a fur coat. Devin Haney over there like, oh, look at his style.
You were the first.
What are we watching here?
Yeah,
and you want me to pay $45 for this, right? This is what you want me to do?
Yeah.
You want to put $45 down a month on this, right? No. Not doing it.
Fuck out of here with that.
Right? Listen, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I don't care. I'm not paying for it.
You called that out a long time ago.
Eric,
I did. That's right. I called it out.
You were always against that when they
A
were
real
doing
man, son.
That's right.
That's right. Robert, what do you think about Brian Norman doing that?
I'm glad he did that. I mean, come on. The only thing I pay for DAZN for is the actual fights. I don't watch any of that other garbage.
All right, so you going to the
I
ultimate
want to
tier?
watch the fights.
Are you going to the ultimate?
He's going to the ultimate tier.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. When my subscription's up, I will go for the ultimate tier, because that way I don't have to pay for any of the pay-per-views.
So you're going to go in all year. You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it.
Oh, babe.
I feel bad for him, man, but
The disappointment is real. The disappointment is real.
You know, if you went on Twitter, Eric, everybody said I'm canceling, and most people said they were already canceled. But then
I'm 25 because you're paying $25 already for nonsense fights.
Yeah, and the thing is the Paramount Plus subscription is like $120 a year, right? And you get Showtime.
I've got that one. I've got that one too, guys. I have that one too.
And look,
I'm
and you
balling, son.
and you get Showtime with that, Robert. You get other sports with that. You get Tulsa.
Oh yeah,
King.
of course. Yep.
You get Tulsa King with that.
I get
shows.
Tulsa King.
Yeah.
What is he,
I love
like
it.
80 years
That's a
old?
good
How old
show,
is
man.
how old is
That's a good
Stallone?
show.
It's like 76. Yeah, he's up there.
Oh,
Man, he looks good for 76,
75,
man.
76. Yeah.
He's a big dude, man. But he's on that HGH and all that other stuff.
Of course, yeah.
We got to start getting on that, B. We starting to, we're in our 50s now. We got to start getting on that.
But eventually have to go on it, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right. There's only so much we can deal with.
Oh, and by the way,
My current activities.
Saturday?
All right, what's going on?
This Saturday with the Ben Eubank fight, it's going to be the same result. Conor Ben's not going to be able to. Conor Ben's not going to be able to change anything.
No.
The
only thing I'll tell you what.
Have any.
The only thing he could change, the only thing Conor Ben can change is his stamina. And if he changes his stamina,
Yep.
he's got a little bit of an edge. But he doesn't have an edge in the fight. He's got a better edge than he did last time because I think he ran out of gas.
Here's the problem, Eric.
Yeah.
His greatest weapon is his greatest weakness. He fights off of adrenaline. He's an aggressive, explosive guy.
You can only go so long on adrenaline.
Yeah, and if you try to settle him down, he's going to be less aggressive, and you're going to take him out of his normal element, right? But then, you speed him up. So he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't here, because that aggressive style is who he is. Like his dad. Here's the difference, though. His dad never got tired. His dad was a beast. I hate to bring up the Gerald McClellan fight. Poor guy. What happened to him?
What's the matter with you?
That was an all.
Yeah. Why are you even bringing that up? We got
if you remember
a lot of UK followers here. Man.
I know.
What's
if
wrong
you
with
remember that fight, though, it looked like Ben was gone in the first round, and then even after that, he was taking some shots, but by a big, strong guy like McClellan, and he was the guy that came back in the end. See, he has that gas tank on him. His father.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his father's gas tank.
No, he sure doesn't. All right, Robert, we're going to put you back on hold here.
All right.
There we go. All right, let's see what's next here. Victor Conte, the notorious drug cheat, Beeb, passed away this week. I know a lot of people liked him. I know a lot of people did, man. I've heard a lot of good things about him and everything like that. But let me tell you what, man. To me, the guy will always be a drug cheat. He'll always be a cheat. He'll always be a liar. It just is. I always had a problem with people giving him stock, like putting stock into what he says and like professional organizations coming to him and everything like that, because this is a guy who circumvented the system. You know what I mean? The Balco, he caused so much problem with the Balco, Barry Bonds, everybody. He ruined, and you can even look at it and say, hey, he ruined sports in a lot of ways. He really did.
He's got the past
He was, and you know what? You could say it's the past, and maybe the past is the past, but the past doesn't change.
Doesn't
change anything, and it doesn't
get erased. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't get erased, and you are what you are.
Yeah, people remember that.
You know what I mean? That's what it was. He was a cheater. He was a liar. Nothing that came out of his mouth was trustworthy. You know, he also, and let me tell you what I didn't like either. He also put people in bad positions. He accused fighters of being enhanced without any proof at all, without zero evidence. Accused Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao of being on juice or being enhanced in some way, and he had zero evidence. I don't care if they asked him a question. He had zero evidence to put those guys on blast like that. Zero.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to say about Victor Conte. Any thoughts on Conte?
Yeah, I mean, I've had my issues with him, but, you know, I can just let him rest in peace, I guess. That's all I can say. But I understand your opinion. I mean, I respect your opinion.
Jesus M says steroids wasn't illegal in MLB. Steroids was illegal in the U.S., okay?
Yes,
it's illegal.
Yeah, the steroids was always illegal. Well, it was illegal.
You can't have cocaine in the clubhouse. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Just because they didn't put it on the sheet.
Yeah.
Common sense, guys.
You can't.
Yeah. Gadali. Balco is his legacy. 100%. He was a snitch. 100%. Yeah. There it is. Anthony Joshua could be coming back soon, babe. Hearns Matchroom Boxing have 3 dates in the diary for December 13th, the 15th, and the 27th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They asked Eddie Hearn if Joshua would return on one of those dates. Hearn said, yeah. The 13th, the 15th, and the 27th. That's about a month away, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
About a month away.
You don't even have an opponent. I mean, you may have an opponent. We don't know about it. I don't know. Is there an opponent? Has there been an opponent? If you are going to honor one of those dates, then who's going to fight you on short notice like that? And do you?
It's got to be. I mean, somebody's going to do it, but it'll be a walkover fight.
It's got to be. And you know, here's the thing too. What's left for Anthony Joshua besides the Fury fight? And I'm not even really interested in the Fury fight myself personally, but a lot of people are, and a lot of other people are. But for me, I don't see anything else out there. I mean, you were a 2-time unified champion. You're a gold medalist. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame. You've done everything you can do. What
is he looking for? I think that's the thing. Is like, what is he looking for?
And I know people will always support him and come to his fight, so he's always going to be able to earn money. But at what point, like, do you say, I got enough, I'm done, I'm happy? I just don't understand the plot here. And Eddie Hearn too, it's just like, it seems like he's just milking this guy to the very end.
I don't know that his heart's in it. I just get that feeling. Yeah. I mean, I don't see him out in the media. I don't see him egging for a fight. I just don't.
And you're constantly switching trainers and constantly searching for help. And it's like, at this point, you are who you are, and you are what you are. You're not going to change yourself at this point. You're just not.
Yeah.
You are who you are. You're not going to learn anything. I mean, you can try different things, but you are who you are. Like,
yeah,
you know, it is. You're
learning time is over.
You're never gonna be a Tyson Fury. You're never gonna be an Alexander Usyk. You're gonna be Anthony Joshua. So you can train with all types of different trainers and try to recreate yourself. But like, Muhammad Ali was always going to be Muhammad Ali. He was never going to be Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson was always going to be Mike Tyson. He was never going to be Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
The great Customato once said, people who are born round do not die square. And that was one of the greatest sayings I've ever heard in my life.
100% right.
Shout out to the great Customato.
Virtuoso, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Steroids save baseball, just like Viagra saved the porn industry. Enough with your eat your vitamins and say your prayers bullshit. There you go. Hey, I can't disagree.
Like I said, I always thought they should have been made legal.
Clarissa Shields inks an $8 million multi-fight deal with Salida Promotions and Win Records, the richest deal in women's boxing, a minimum guarantee of $8 million. Okay, great. You know, I mean, she's not even the most popular women fighter. I don't think. I think Katie Taylor still is.
Didn't Katie Taylor get $6 million to fight Amanda Serrano in one fight on
Probably.
Netflix?
I don't know. She had to join MVP. I don't know why she didn't join MVP. There's tons of people over there.
Yeah, if you're a female fighter, I think MVP is the place to go.
You don't go wrong with Ohio, baby. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah, I think
OH.
I think Jake Paul. Listen, if you could say what you want about Jake Paul, the guy is an incredibly smart businessman,
and he's doing a lot for fighters. Say what you want. He's doing a lot for fighters.
Thank you. He's doing a lot for particularly female fighters.
It's not all bad with Jake Paul.
No,
you know what I mean?
Listen, I respect Jake Paul. I have no animus towards the guy, to be honest. I think, I'm actually starting to root for him now in fights.
Well, you were boxing with him earlier, or he was showing you some combos earlier. So there you go.
Only one fighter he could fight.
He's in love with Ohio, Daddy.
Yeah. There's only one fighter who I would root for against him, and that's Terrence Crawford. But if he fought anyone else, I think I would root for him now. Just being honest. I'm so done with boxing right now, the way these guys move and the business and shit. That's why I love Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford moved up from 140 to 147, fought for a title. Moved up from 147 to 154, fought for a title. He became undisputed in 3 divisions. Moved up from 154 all the way up to 168, fought for undisputed. This guy has always been about business, man.
Yeah,
of course he wanted to get money, but he also wanted to fight real fights. So this is the throwback fighter. This is the Marvin Hagler. You know Marvin Hagler did not get a title shot until his 50th fight, and then he beat Vito Antuofermo. He won at least 12 of those 15 rounds, and they scored it a draw. And then Vito Antuofermo doesn't give him a rematch, and then Vito Antuofermo gets beat, right? And then Marvin Hagler has to fight the guy a year later that beat him. So it's crazy. But that's Terrence Crawford, because they tried to freeze him out, and he waited them out, and he ended up being, having the last laugh on all of those guys.
There you go. There you go. And for all you guys who don't say I don't ever talk about women's boxing, I mean, we just talked about the Clarissa Shields deal. Holly Holm, former boxer turned UFC, now back to boxing, is set for a WBA title shot. Holly Holm is 44, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Holm will face Stephanie Hahn, whoever that is, for some fringe title. They're going to fight for 20 minutes and then call themselves champ.
Yeah.
Great. Are you going to watch that, Beeb? Yeah, neither will I. You're not watching it either. You're not watching it. You're not watching it, are you? I'm not watching it. You're not watching it. I'm not watching it. That'll be part of DAZN's new pay-per-view package. To be that one.
I'll probably watch it. What else am I getting? I'm a loser. Fucking watching fucking pigeons fucking fight over a piece of bread in the street. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm fucking hopeless.
That's still pretty good. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at JHabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com, and you can find me on X at ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week.